happy October. I hope you're doing well. Okay. All right, guys. We come in with the Page of Swords. Okay. We've got the Hierophant, the Five of Wands, and the Six of Swords as our focal. Okay. All right. Now, our advice is the Judgment card and the Devil card. There we go. And our Outbound card is the Chariot. Okay. I think this is good. I want to say this though. Out of 7 cards, including the energy cards, we have 4 trumps. That's huge. Okay? And we have not one cup in here. So, I want to say this. We need more passion. We don't need more passion. We need passion. There's not one cup card in here. So, you're not enjoying this. We have wands. And we have swords. And we have trumps. Okay. With the Page of Swords as our energy, okay, I want to say we want to really focus our thoughts, our energy. Where are we? Where are the woulda, coulda, shouldas, right? It's the, I would do this, but I don't know, I don't have the time. I don't have the energy, I don't have the money to go to school. I can't quit my job. I have bills to pay. We all do this, right? So what I want to say here is with the Page of Swords, you need a breath of fresh air. You really do, right? I'm noticing a theme for October. And it's not only in the readings that I'm doing, it's in the energy that I feel. And I know other people feel it too. It's time. It's time. It's time to get back to basics. It's time to put joy back in our lives. It's time to not work ourselves to death, right? It should not be all about work. It shouldn't. And we need to look at ways that really clean out our lives in ways that we can get that back on track, right? We didn't get here overnight. I know we're not going to get back on track overnight. I'm well aware of that. But I'm in this equation too, right? I think that we talk about the things that we want to do, but with the Page of Swords, we need to really get going in that, because that's the I don't know, should I, shouldn't I? That's that energy that exhausts us, right? So by the time we're done thinking about it, tomorrow we'll deal with it. Everything gets done tomorrow, right? Tomorrow comes and it's 20 years later and we're still thinking about it, right? So we need to kind of get some sense of order here. And I think with the Hierophant coming in, it's really just looking at what are the things in your life that are outlived, that need to be cleaned out, right? The Five of Wands, those are distractions. What are we distracting ourselves with? Are we working ourselves to death so that we're just numb to everything, right? We're not even realizing that we're doing this. That's quite possible too. That could be why the Devil and the Judgment card come in as the I'm drawing a blank, I'm sorry. It's coming in as our action, what we're needing to do here to resolve this. The Judgment card is it's time. You've got to make a decision. You've got to make a change somewhere. It's the acknowledgement of that. And it's to such a degree, like I said, it's now. It's the time is now, right? We don't get just to that. We'll get a few hints here and there, but that card is saying it's time. It's really time. Because what happens too here with the Devil card is we get sick, right? We give away all of our power, all of our energy. The Devil card in a balanced spot is the energy that we need to pursue things, but it's not the constant foot on the gas. It's not. It's the balancing, and that's what the difference between the Devil lived and unlived is. The spelling, right? Take your power back and live your life. That's just. The Devil card, guys, is the many different faces that we wear, the many different masks that we wear, right? That's all that it is. But what can happen here with the Judgment card is if you don't stop, right, this is when this becomes an addiction, right? And an addiction is anything. And it's in here, it's you're working too much, or you're avoiding doing something that you really want to do, right? The outbound card is the Chariot. That card to me is a card of forward movement, but it's through ascension. It's through maturity. It's through knowing that, you know what, I've got to get my ducks in a row here so that I can get this show on the road. Because I've been in this job and I may have liked it. I can't remember anymore because it sucked me dry, right? Even if we have jobs that we like, we enjoy. I love doing what I do, but I'm my own worst enemy too. I wait until I don't have, you know, like a functioning brain cell left in my head, and then I'm like, oh, I probably need some self-care. Well, by that time, I'm so exhausted that it takes like days to be able to catch back up, right? We all do that. So none of us are exempt from this. And again, like I say, there's not one cup card in here. So you're not elated about this, you're not passionate about this, you're not enjoying this, you're not receptive to things, right? That includes our relationships too. They take a huge hit too. When we're so trying to just remain, it's like driving a car with no gas. It's just like we just have to get over this hump and then we'll get gas. We just have to get over this hump and then we'll get gas. Try to really incorporate some joy back into your life in whatever form that is. It doesn't need to be anything extraordinary. It can really just be downtime. The most precious thing to me right now as time goes by is just time. It's just quiet time. It's just time where I don't need to answer a phone or answer an email. It's just quiet time to just sit, you know, and whatever it is to you. I'm going to say this. If you've got something that you want to do, right, but you can't leave your job that you don't like, try to do the bare minimum at your day job. Do your job, of course, right, to the best of your ability, but try to do the minimum so that at night or on the weekends, you've got a reserve of energy that you can now start to research the things that you want to do. Do you want to take a class? Do you want to go do something else? Do you want to start something? Do you want to research something? Do you want to just do nothing? Do you want more balanced time to yourself, right? Do you want to go take a Zumba class or something? Do you want to buy a hula hoop? Anything, right? And yes, I do have a hula hoop. Don't ask. But it does work. It's a quick 5-minute fix. It really does work. So anyhow, they're like $5. Go get yourself a hula hoop and that'll get you going. You've got to think outside of the box, things like that, right? They don't need to break the bank and they don't need to be elaborate. They're just stupid little things that shake up our day, right? The Six of Swords. These three cards, and there are focals, guys, really, are just saying we need to really start doing us, right? The Five of Wands are the things that we tell ourselves, the things that we avoid, the distractions that we let distract us, right? The Hierophant is really just about branching out. You know, it's about letting things that are old and outworn go. And the Six of Swords, this card, and why I just love this deck, is because the ferryman here is you, and the swords are yours, and the little body in here is you driving yourself up here. That card is ascension. It's the clearing out of the looking at this stuff as to why I do what I do, and how do I get past it? How do I get to calmer waters? How do I calm the waters in here, right? That's what that card is about. So if you combine these are about maturity, right? They're about getting our ducks in a row here. They're about forward movement, but through emotional discipline, holding ourselves accountable. A lot of times people will say too, and I'm a big advocate of this too, we all do these things. Oh, I would take this class, but it would take 5 years to get this degree or something like that, right? I don't have 5 years. I just don't have 5 years. 5 years comes and goes. And we're usually still in the crappy job that we hated, right? So carve these times out. 5 years is going to come and go, and I'm using that as an example. And you could have done what you wanted to do. So we hold ourselves back. I really think the Page of Swords is a breath of fresh air. We really need a breath of fresh air. We need to balance, though, too, self-care and why we don't do it and why we feel guilty about doing it and why we feel we have to justify it, right? I need a day to myself. And someone will look at us like, what do you mean you need a day to yourself, you know? And then we go on to explain why we need this day to ourselves. Enough. I just need a day to myself, period. I think when we start to do that and we start to make it the new norm, this doesn't look like this. We have passions. We have energy to think about what our passions are, right? This is crawling into bed and getting up and doing it again, right? And it's the repetitive cycle. And it's what I feel here really when I was throwing this was, did you ever get in the car and you are in, you're at one place and you get all the way home and you unload the car, you get in the house, and you really don't remember any part of the car ride because we're just in that perpetual mode. We're just going through the motions. We need to get some zest back in here. And if you're avoiding that, and if you don't have any zest, right, because you're so tired, you need to just start then by, again, trying to do your bare minimum during the day. Try to make it a game. How much energy can I reserve, really, by the end of the day? And start to see how you start to feel by the time that, you're getting ready for bed. Are you crawling into bed? Are you able to have a cup of tea before? Are you able to just read something a little bit? Are you able to journal? Are you able to do something, right? I can tell when my days are so out of control. I do a daily throw for myself at night too before I go to bed. When I've been so tired lately that I've not been able to do that, and I've noticed that. And then it spirals out of control where I'm not journaling. Then we all have these things, right? But when our core things that keep us balanced during the day, when we don't have the 5 minutes here or the 5 minutes there, we really need to look at what is going on here, right? We're not meant to be working consistently. And also, if you are, or someone in your sphere, I don't know where this is coming from, but it's for someone. If you're doing this or someone, I think that you're not much gets past you, I don't feel. You can peg someone pretty much just by watching them. You kind of already know where something's going to go, what kind of person they are, or I'm not saying judge people, but there's something in here about really knowing when someone is trying to talk a game, right? And someone might be doing this in work too, where they're very good at giving advice, but you want to start questioning that because they may not have the know-how that they are trying to cast off that they do, and they may be steering you in that goes for someone. They may be steering you in a really wrong direction. So make sure that the person at your job or wherever that you're getting advice from, even a financial advisor, somebody in here that you're going to for something, really knows what they're talking about, because something could go very wrong there. Okay. Okay. Again, the passions thing, right? If you want to do something, and this could be where that message was coming from too. A lot of people will give unsolicited advice. Don't do that. You're not going to get any money. That's not going to make you happy. You know what makes you happy. You don't need someone else's approval, and this goes back to healthcare, but to self-care too, right? You can't buy passions. You can't. You have them. You'll move a mountain for them. You don't need someone to tell you what those are. You know what those are. You just need to find some time to reacquaint yourself with what those are. So that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to keep this short. Find some time for yourself to really restructure your life. Really just the little things help this that you wouldn't think would. I'm a big advocate of cleaning stuff out. I don't like clutter because when I feel clutter, I feel very trapped, right? When we feel trapped, we don't want to do anything. It doesn't make us want to expand, for sure, right? So try to clean things out. Try to find corners. At least have one corner per room that you can at least see the corner. Then you know you're on the right track, right? It's a time to clean out your closets. right? That brings in, you know, less time. We spend zillions of time in the grocery store, going through a menu, uh, closet, laundry, all the stuff we just sit the refrigerator door will stand there. We'll stand there just because it gives us 5 minutes to ourselves, right? That we're not even, you know what I mean? We're going through the motions. Our life is supposed to be so much more spectacular than this. Find time to find what your passions are. Don't work yourself to death. Balance your life. Self-care, some passion, cut back on the work, and find some more downtime. Because in that downtime, even if you're listening to this thinking, lady, I haven't had a passion in 5 years, I assure you, it'll come back to you if you just allow yourself the time. Relationships, too. They're on life support because of this stuff. Even though we may not notice it, they are. Because again, there's no cup cards in here. So we may be orchestrating, and what happens too is when our lives go amok like this, we try to structure them in such a tight box that it sucks the joy right out of it. We've got a nice little package, you know, family deal, but no one's happy. No one's happy, no one's smiling, you know. We want to bring that back. So try to figure out a way to hold yourself accountable to the things. Write on a piece of paper, I'm going to do this by this date, and sign it. And you'll do it, right? These are little things, guys, little things, but they bring so much joy. I have a client, he is a painter, loves painting, he's amazing. And he just says, I don't even enjoy this anymore. I don't enjoy this because I'm forced to do it now. And I feel like if I don't do it, I feel guilty. So we went over a plan. He took a week off, came back on track. Little things like that where you think, oh my gosh, this is my passion, I don't enjoy it anymore. That's panic, right? But when you give yourself a little bit of time away from it, you come back so much more revived, right? So I think that that is October, what we really need to do. Think about the things that you really want to incorporate into your life. And if the first thing that comes to your mind is you can't do it because, write that down and look at it for like a week straight. Really look at that. You'll find a way, with it visibly right in front of you, that you'll find a way to make it happen. Turn these things into little games, guys. You know, that's where it starts. So there you go. I hope I helped you in some way. I really think that that's what October is about, and I think it's the time. I don't think we can really push forward anymore with the I'll do it next week. I think the time is now. And the time is now because it's just I feel that it's the heavy energy. Everybody's got heavy energy. And if we have that all together, it's a lot of heavy energy. So that's what we try to, you know, it's a wake-up call, right? I'm exerting too much of myself in one place. This is, I need to do something else. I need to make some changes, right? Maybe it's a health regime. Maybe it's getting more sleep. Maybe it's any little thing. Start with little tweaks. Little tweaks go a long way. When people clean out their lives and start things all from scratch, it never goes. Just little things. Okay, so there you go. If you need a private reading, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help you. If you're looking at this thinking, oh, this is a wonderful idea, but I don't know where to start, reach out to me. We can look at that. Okay, thank you so much. Have a wonderful month.